Etsy has grown like 4 million sellers in the last year. Literally millions of people in the last 12 months have started selling print on demand on Etsy. Probably most of them selling the same products that if you're doing print on demand that you're selling. So I think competition is skyrocketing, but I still also think that print on demand on Etsy today is the most viable way to make money online, even with increasing competition. So any way that you can stand above that competition, do a higher barrier to entry, the more likely you will have success. There are a lot of people who are selling very similar designs as us who had 500 listings for masks, and we had 50, and we were selling 3 times more than them.
You saw the potential. You're like, there's that many buyers on this platform, which is awesome. How do I leverage products? What does that conversation look like, or that process?
Yeah, so before launching on Etsy, I was selling on Amazon, and I think Amazon's way more of a matured marketplace for the sellers, and as a result, it's way more competitive. When I started selling on Etsy, I really quickly noticed that it's a less mature marketplace, and a lot of the sellers are not as they know all the strategies, tips, and tricks. So it was easier to apply an Amazon strategy on Etsy and see success because the competition isn't doing it. So with that, I'm a big believer in research and not hope marketing, and making very strategic choices based off data. So we just started doing product research, and then we ended up finding a product, and then we did market research, what designs can we put on these products? Does that have enough potential? So personally, I only launch products like apparel or mugs, a product type, if collectively, all of the designs collectively can probably do about $100,000 per year profit. So maybe 25, 30,000 sales per year. If it has that much potential, I feel comfortable going into it, as even if I get a fraction of that, that's okay, because we're launching multiple products and collectively they can stack.
But what is something that you took that you could share with the audience is what did you do that you feel separated you that others weren't doing that made you successful?
Yeah, so it definitely came with, I would say, 1, research, and then 2, how we launched. A lot of people launch listings to launch listings. They think, especially with the print industry, success will come with quantity. If I have 6,000 listings, how can I not sell 100 a day, right? So it's I think that's the wrong mentality. There are a lot of people who are selling very similar designs as us who had 500 listings for masks, and we had 50, and we were selling 3 times more than them. And the only reason why we're able to do that is because it stems from we're launching the right product, which has the right potential, because it takes just as much time to launch a product that does not sell as it does launch a product that does sell. And it takes just as much time to design a design that does not sell as it does to launch one that does sell. So we slow down, we do the research, and then we implement, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And I think from our last conversation, just so we can clarify. So let's just use Tumblr or something, right? That's a product, right? And what you're saying is you just want to see that there's 10,000 of those things selling. Doesn't matter the niches, doesn't matter anything. You just want to know that there's people buying tumblers.
Yeah, so I only ask myself at the product research level, I only ask myself 3 questions because there's thousands of products to go through, right? So I don't spend too much time on each product. So on a very high level, I ask myself 3 questions. 1, does it have sales potential on Etsy? Can I sell at least maybe 10,000 of these per year collectively? If not, I know I can find a different product that will. So I don't want to spend my time launching a product that's only going to sell 1 or 2 a day. So if it can do that, I move on to the next question, which is the product profitable? I set a minimum of about $5, but I prefer to go closer to 10. If you're print on demand, $5 is really fair. Because you can find products that are not profitable and also products that are profitable or even more profitable. So you just want to make if you're spending the time to launch a product, make sure it has the most sales potential and the profit potential, because we're not doing it for the revenue, we're doing it for the profit. And if those things line up, I also ask myself can this product be personalized? So I've done over 200,000 sales on Etsy, and every single product that we've sold has been personalized. So I owe a lot of my success to selling personalized products. So I make that one of the requirements when I do my product research. Because some products can be personalized and some products are more geared not towards personalization.
Anytime that you can do that, I definitely think that you have an edge. And I think you would agree, a lot of people don't want to do it because it's time consuming.
People go to Etsy to find unique gifts that they can't find anywhere else. So that's kind of what Etsy is known for as a marketplace. And I think Etsy even says like a majority of their sales are giftables, like they're buying it for somebody else. So knowing that it's a gift for someone else, if you have like a mug A and a mug B, but mug B is like, you can put that person's name on it for the exact same price, you're probably gonna go with mug B, right? So when you're selling print on demand, like we're all selling on the same marketplace, competing for the same customers. And then if you're doing print on demand, you're buying the same product from the same production partner for the same price, with the same lead times. So it's almost impossible to stand above the competition beyond the design. And if you're not a graphic designer, like I'm not a graphic designer, I make my designs on Canva. So that probably says everything right there. So the way that I've been able to win with design is by adding that layer of personalization. So basic design probably, but because I had personalization, it's more geared for the marketplace Etsy. It's more giftable and it has a higher value proposition to the shopper.
You feel like, yes, Etsy is very, very competitive right now, right? There's people out there on YouTube just like me that are talking about like how you can start on Etsy and it is great, but a way to stand out is by offering personalization, because a lot of people don't want to offer the personalization. Is this accurate?
Exactly. Yeah. So I've looked at the numbers, like Etsy has grown like 4 million sellers in the last like year. And Printify has grown like almost 4 million sellers in the last year. And whenever you search like Etsy, it's like Etsy print on demand. Whenever you search Printify, it's like Printify on Etsy. So I think like literally millions of people in the last 12 months have started selling print on demand on Etsy. Probably most of them selling the same products that like if you're doing print on demand that you're selling. So I think competition is like skyrocketing, but I still also think that print on demand on Etsy today is the most viable. It's the most viable way to make money online, even with increasing competition. So any way that you can stand above that competition, do a higher barrier to entry, the more likely you will have success. And again, the easiest way that I think that's going to be is to add personalization. I think the future of print on demand on Etsy is personalization.